Hello and welcome to the Safe Space ASMR podcast, where we talk about all things spirituality, personal development, and so much more. Sometimes we whisper, sometimes we soft speak, but every time we grow, expand, and relax. So sit back, grab a drink. I have my drink right here, as always. What is this? This is there's a bang in here, bang energy. I said I would stop drinking Bang, but today, and I did, I started drinking Celsius, but, I was in the mood for a Bang because I want to get hyped up, because we're going to be talking about in episode 10, how to create massive change in your life. So let me take a sip, pause this audio, video, wherever you're watching this and listening. If you need to, go grab a drink. So, I have a question first. I don't know whether you're listening to this on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Someone commented on my YouTube. Someone commented that they prefer the soft speaking when it comes to this podcast platform because that's where people listen to the podcast. I'm curious whether you prefer whispering or soft speaking. I know my ASMR channel, I always whisper. Always. I really don't listen to soft spoken that much. But would you prefer this? I know I've asked this before, and it was 50-50 on whispering and soft speaking. I forget the thing, but it was mostly that. So not just whispering, not just soft spoken, but a mix of both. And that got the most votes in the poll that I did. I'm curious if you've changed your mind at all. So wherever you're listening, please reach out to me and let me know how you feel about it being just soft spoken or just whispering. I don't think I'd ever really do just whispering. I don't know. So just let me know. I want to get your opinion because, of course, this podcast is for you. It's not for me. I created, but you listen to it. So let me know what you like. And let's get into episode 10 of how to create massive change. So I thought it'd be appropriate because last week we talked about how your beliefs are controlling your life, how your beliefs are sabotaging you, and how to create change finally is a huge thing. And I ended that episode giving some tips on how to create massive change. And I even told you this diagram that we're going to talk about deeply today. But, we talked about the beliefs. You know that they're controlling your life, what you feel about yourself, your perception of yourself, the beliefs that were created ever since you were a child up until now. It's a mirror of your reality. Your beliefs are right in front of you. What you're lacking, what you're thriving in. Your beliefs control your life. And if you want to go watch that episode before this one, I highly recommend. But let's talk about how to create change. Finally. So I also talked a little bit about this in my episode 3 of Law of Attraction and, setting intentions and setting goals and working towards your manifestations and how to create change with the Law of Attraction. This one's going to be more on the personal development side rather than the spiritual side, although I will mention the spiritual side of this quote. Energy flows where attention goes. Emotion is energy in motion, which creates your personality, which is your personal reality. So your beliefs, the thoughts, the programs create an emotion, either low or high, of what you think you're capable of achieving, what you think you can do or not do. And that creates your personality. It creates your behavior, what you end up taking action on versus what you don't, because you don't believe you can do certain things. So it all comes down and all stems down to your beliefs, which also control your reticular activating system. So what you hold true to you, you re-energize. So what is true in your life, you're seeing it, in your outer reflection through also your reticular activating system, which filters out and filters in what's important to you and filters out trash, things that don't resonate with the beliefs, the frequency of your beliefs. So in order to do this, we need to change our beliefs. But the question is, how do we do that? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But some other side notes just to throw out there is focus changes your emotion. Gratitude changes your focus. So I recommend, just to throw this in before we dive deep into really creating change, focus your attention on what you are grateful for. When you do that, your vibration will raise and you will end up seeing, by your reticular activating system and law of attraction, more things to be grateful for. Just like if someone gives you a gift, you thank them, you show so much gratitude because you love it, and then they want to give you more gifts because it's so rewarding seeing you happy. So if you are focusing your attention on what you like, the universe will think it's so cute and give you more of what you like, because that's where your attention and energy is. Therefore, that's what you attract and that's what you see. So creating change in your life starts with shifting your focus to what you are grateful for, what you do like about yourself, what you do like about your life and your body and, your partner, etc. Because then you start seeing more of those traits, experiences, opportunities, compliments reflected back to you. So it's the matter of focus, which changes your energy and motion, which ends up changing your personal reality. So that's not it though. That's just step one. This will end up reprogramming your mind to focus more on what you're grateful for. But let's get down to true personal development change. Things that have helped me, things that I've learned from Tony Robbins and Mind Valley, which is a spirit. I don't know how to explain Mind Valley. Mind Valley was the trigger for my spiritual awakening, honestly. But Mind Valley is this company that is a spiritual personal development company that holds workshops, courses. I'm a Mind Valley member, so I pay to take certain courses, and you can also just watch everything on YouTube. But things that I've learned, a big thing that I'll learn that I'll be talking about today is something from Mind Valley, but the first thing we're going to dive into is Tony Robbins. So I'll probably make a whole episode on this because I resonate with this so much. Let me know if you do too. So the first step to change is tying strong emotional charges to your pain and pleasures. Pain and pleasure. That is the key to change. Our behavior is either chasing pleasure or it's running away from pain. Everything you do in life, every action you take, you're either doing it to get out of a painful situation or you're doing it to go towards a pleasurable experience. So, let's say me making this video right now or this episode, I'm doing it to give you value, which is pleasure to me. I'm doing it because it's my passion. I'm doing it because, if I didn't, the other side of this is if I didn't do this, I would feel pain because I wouldn't, be consistent showing up to give any value. And I just, I hold pleasure with being consistent. So I film and I like what I do. So I'm chasing that pleasure, right? And I'm running away from any pain of feeling lazy or not doing things. We eat that cookie out of the pleasure. We work out out of the pleasure of feeling good and looking good, or we're running away from the pain of what it was once like to not feel happy with our bodies. So we're constantly taking action based on pleasure or pain. Watching a show that's pleasurable. Sometimes we can take the wrong types of actions, as in get into bad habits like drinking or, running away from pain to distract ourselves, to numb ourselves, or, chasing that pleasure of that high, even bad things. Okay, so I don't recommend that, but we do things out of pain and pleasure. If you're not consistent at the gym, then your pleasure of looking good isn't strong enough, or your pain of, not being happy with your body isn't strong enough. And even if you don't like your body, but you still aren't going to the gym or eating healthy, the pain isn't strong enough. The pleasure, even if it's so painful, it's not strong enough to make you take that action. So every single action is derived from our pain and pleasure receptors. Everything in life, our behavior is formed from this. And I did this exercise before where I really sit there with the pain of what it would be like to not chase my dreams, the pain of what it would be like to not create that YouTube channel, the pain of what it would be like to not show up and share my voice, to live a life doing the, typical for me personally, the typical 9 to 5 or going to college. To me, that's pain. Everyone has different ideas of what pain and pleasure is, but I charged up my pain of what it would be like if I didn't hit my goals. And I know people would say this might be unhealthy, but like if it's making you take the right action and you're doing it from a place of also having compassion for yourself, we're not perfect. We can have compassion while also charging up pain at the same time. But if you're charging up the pain of something, visualizing, using your visualization, because we all have that, using your visualization of what it would be like in 5 years if you did not take action on your dream, what it would be like in 10 years if you did not do this, what it would be like next week if you didn't take this action. And I want you to 10 times that pain, okay? Go deep into your what ifs, and take this with a grain of salt. Everything I say in every single episode, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And this, to some degree, it could for sure, everything is balanced. Like, I'm not saying like go strong in your what ifs and get fearful of the future of what it would be like if you didn't do this. Like, no, you'll always be okay. But to create massive change, we really want to charge up the pain. And if that's not enough, I heard before, we're really motivated from pain more than pleasure. Like a dark experience will make you never want to have that again. So I create this YouTube channel because I used to not love myself. So I want that painful experience led me into sharing my voice so other people can find their authentic self. So it's a great thing to be motivated by. Our darkness is where our light usually is. So your pain, that's where your light usually is. That's where you really thrive. The opposite of that. It's like your shadow self, but that's your light. I don't know if I'm making sense. But anyway, so you can either charge up your pain or you can charge up your pleasure, which I also really recommend this, to be motivated by the pleasure of something rather than the pain of running away from something. At the same time, this can sound really unhealthy and bad. Like, why are you getting motivated from, your person, yourself that you used to hate? Like, don't, like, send love and light and everything, but you can transmute certain negative energies for the good, for the light, which could be, I don't want to have this body by the time summer comes, so I'm gonna like really just picture myself if I had this body when summer comes, and I just won't be happy with it, etc., etc. Like, so many situations. It's easy always for some reason to give the gym and body working out example. I don't know why I always revert back to that, but it's also like charging up the pain of where would you be in 5 years if you didn't start your YouTube channel right now, your dream, or start that business. And you can charge up the pleasure of it. Where will you be in 5 years if you started the business? Or where would you be this summer if you started working out consistently and eating healthy? Charge up the pleasure, the visualization of what that would look like. How excited you'd be in that toned fit body. How good you would feel with nutritious foods. And really charge up the pleasure of that emotion. How would you feel if you lived the exact life that you wanted to? Visualize it, feel it, soak in everything that would be. Watch content creators doing what you want to do. It could be even a real estate agent or just anything. You can search it up and just get in that emotion, that feel good energy to really push you into that direction. So charging up your pain and pleasure. What are you sick of? And most people wouldn't say this. Like, I think most people wouldn't give, I don't know. I do a little bit think people wouldn't give this advice. Like, what are you sick of? Like, feel that negative energy. But I do think in some situations, like, really feeling that negative energy can push us in the right direction to finally make a change. Because, like, if we say we're sick of doing certain things, we're sick of not taking that action, but then, like, nothing changes. So sometimes we really need to get sick of something in order to make us take that action. This is full masculine advice, personal development advice, like, Tony Robbins advice, but it really helps. It really helps, and it changes a lot. Now, let's talk about the second way to create massive change. This one I'm gonna draw something. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see it. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I will explain it well enough so you can create a visualization of it. But it's also, if you're a visual learner, this podcast is on YouTube. You know, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm staring right at you. But I'm going to create a little diagram real quick, and then I will explain it. Okay, what we're drawing here, you can draw it with me because I think it's really good to look at. I like seeing this visual, and I think it's really, really, really powerful. So draw, if you're, watching this, you'll see. But if you can, draw a circle. In the circle, wait, let me just make it a little more bold. And then in the center of the circle, we can put anything. It doesn't really, actually, let's just put, okay, so in the center of the circle, write the word identity. I actually explained this in my last episode towards the end, but we're going more in depth this time because this is so important. And this kind of relates back to self-concept, which I have a good referral of my friend who is, in my opinion, the master of self-concept. She's changed her life so much in the matter of like a couple months based off of using the techniques of the self-concept. So anyway, so you have your circle and the word identity. Create a circle outside of it. And in that circle, it's just like right outside of it, write the word process. Oh wait, it's a circle around the inner circle. So not like a separate circle, you know what I mean? Alright, and then one more circle around it. With the word outcome. Okay, so we have the center circle, which is identity, the middle circle, which is process, and then the outer circle, which is outcome. And I'm going to hold it up. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see. But most of us are living by this dialogue of, I'm just going to give the working out example because it's really simple and easy to use. I'm going to work out in order to become skinny so I can be a fit person, right? So that's like a lot of people's dialogue. Or I'm going to start eating healthy, so that I can become fit and feel good so that I can be a healthy person, But currently I'm not a healthy person, so I need to start eating healthy. So we have this idea of we need to do something, which is the middle circle process, in order to get something, which is the outcome, in order to be something. Or we need to do this, we want a certain outcome, so we know we have to do this process in order to be something, right? We're living by this dialogue of, I want to be, a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. That's the outcome. So I need to start a business and do all XYZ in order to be that. But currently I'm broke. So we have this dialogue. I'm broke right now. I have no money. So I need to do all of this in order to have that, in order to be that. I need to start waking up early and, getting stuff done in order to be a productive person, because currently I'm lazy. So we have these dialogues, these I am statements of, I am a lazy person, so in order to be a productive person, which is some outcome, then I need to change this process. We constantly go towards the outcome, and then we go to the process in order to be something. So this isn't sustainable at all. This way of thinking is not sustainable, and this is why people cannot hold habits for more than 2 weeks, because they think in order to be something, they have to do all of this. Now, when we don't have the identity of being a productive person, or the identity of, having a lot of money or being a millionaire or being a healthy person, when we don't have that identity, everything feels like force. If you want to be a productive person, but you identify as a lazy person, so you know you have to do this process of waking up early and doing XYZ in order to be it. XYZ, the process is so much harder because our brain is fighting the unfamiliar, the unknown. And it's the unknown because the identity is, they're clashing. They're not working in service of each other. So when you decide consciously, I'm going to start going to the gym so I can be fit, so that I can be productive, so that I can be this. So I'm going to go to the gym. You start going for a couple days and then you fall off of that habit. It's not a sustainable habit because you don't have the I am statements already in check. So the process is much harder. This is why people think it's so hard. And this is another belief, but people think it's so hard to chase your dreams. People think it's so hard to create a habit. It's so hard to, start doing something that you've been wanting to do for a while, and they end up giving up all the time because it's just not working for them. When you depend all of your energy on the process and the outcome, you will never hold a habit, because what is missing is the important key part, which is the center, which is the identity. So the subconscious mind will do anything in its power to fulfill the identity. If I say that I'm a lazy person, so I need to start doing XYZ, I start forcing myself to wake up early. I get drained and I'm sick of it, and then I fall back because I'm just a lazy person. We are victim to our identities, sadly. So in order to change, we need to start going first with the identity. I am a productive person, so that's just naturally what I do. And even if your mind, of course, will not resonate with these statements, and I'm going to give you a little something different instead of I am affirmations, although I am affirmations are great. So I recommend checking out my friend Rahosa on YouTube, like wherever. It's RAHOZAH. And she talks about self-concept, affirmations. Go check her out. She is great for this advice. But anyway, just keep that in mind. But I'm going to give a little bit different with affirmations, because most people just say I am statements. And I learned this from Mind Valley to, instead of saying like, I am a productive person and then the process and outcome comes easier, I am something that might not feel right. Like if you want to create change and start that business, I do recommend saying I'm already a millionaire and visualizing it and feeling the emotions of what it would be like, because that's what you are. It's in your, reality. If it's planted in your mind, it's for you. But if that doesn't resonate, like saying those statements, instead, I recommend saying the statements, why am I so productive? Why is money finding its way towards me? Why are people treating me so well? Why is it so easy for me to take action? Or why am I such a funny person? Why am I so charismatic? Whatever you desire. Why am I such a good YouTuber? Why do I create the best content and come up with the best ideas? Your mind cannot reject a question. It can't reject that. Even if you're not making that money, you're not a funny person, or, you're not a productive person, whatever you're asking, even if you're not that, your mind still cannot reject a question. It will search for evidence to fulfill that question. When we give it a statement, it can reject it. And over time, it won't reject it. So if you just stick with the affirmations of, I am a productive person, so naturally I create YouTube videos, or naturally I wake up early, I am a fit and healthy person. Start with those statements. The process becomes much easier. The outcome comes much faster. Like I said, what energy, energy flows where attention goes. The energy that you're giving to these I am statements, energy comes towards it. But it's serving your I am statements. It's serving your beliefs. So when you have these constant cycles of thought saying, I'm so lazy, I'm not healthy, but I want to be healthy, I want to go to the gym, so I'm going to do this. When you focus externally on the process and outcome, but you don't have that core foundation of the identity, everything takes longer to come into your life. Everything is harder because it's forced, because it's fighting your natural I am statements. It's fighting your identity. It's fighting your vibration. It's fighting your emotion and, your aura. Like when you have these I am statements, you're radiating at that, which magnetizes your desires. But when you don't have it, it's just like, the energy's weak. It's weak. And although you can create change, sure, even if you struggle with these I am statements, it's going to be so much more harder, so much more. That could be beliefs too, for sure. But I really think getting to the I am statements and changing that, and this is a concept by Mind Valley. This ties into self-concept, but it's so many things, changing your I am statements. But anyway, so if you don't resonate currently with the I am statements, change it to why am I so? And your subconscious mind will search for the evidence. Why am I growing so fast on YouTube? Why am I so creative? Your mind can't deny a question. It's not a statement. But like I said, if you are saying the statements, they will start to reprogram your subconscious mind. So when your mind starts to go in the loop of, oh no, I can't do that, those negative beliefs and falling back into that, in that moment, I want you to switch it directly in that moment of, I am a productive person. I am healthy. I am fit. I am successful in my business, and switch that energy and feel the energy of what it would be like to be that, because you are that. You are that. Even if you cannot physically see it, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist around you, because like I said, what's planted inside you is for you. So, identity, process comes easier, outcome comes quicker. Do not go with this idea of you have to do something in order to be something. You are already that. And then the process becomes natural. You're in control of your identities, and you don't want your identity to fight with life. So change the identity, change the core. I am affirmations over time will reprogram the subconscious mind. Like saying them continuously, repetition is what changes. Like repetition. So how to create massive change? Repetition. But instead of repetition of, doing the action and the process, repetition of the I am identity statements. And it starts to peel back into your subconscious mind. Powerful time to do it is before you fall asleep. As you're dropping into these lower brain waves, that's the time of hypnosis. So what you think about before you go to sleep. Because as you think about it, you can even listen to affirmations. You can listen to things. As you think about it, you drift off and your conscious mind starts to melt in a way, and you get deep into the subconscious mind, which is where all of the beliefs and programming is. So, identity. What are my I am statements? Get down to the core of that. And when you want to create massive change, don't start with the process. Don't start with the outcome. What are you saying about yourself? And what are you going to get from that statement? The subconscious mind will do anything in its power to fulfill the identity. So if you're having these, I'm lazy, I'm not fit, I'm not healthy, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not successful, I'm not for that. Life is going to be like, okay. Life is your genie. It's giving you those statements because that's where your energy is. That's what emotion and vibration you're giving off. Therefore, it's matching. So identity is number one. And then switching and also getting motivation of what your identity will be after you decide what's my pain and what's my pleasure, and like really emotionally charging that up in order to finally switch the identity. If you're sick of being something, switch the identity. If you are really charged up that pain, but that pleasure of like what it would be like to be the person that you want to be, change that identity. So get clear on what that is. Journal about it, feel it, feel the pain and feel the pleasure all at once. And then you can switch your environment step by little tiny steps of switching your environment. I always redecorate when I'm in need of change, because your environment subconsciously like really affects who you are. If you're not changing your environment, I'm not telling you to move or anything. I redecorate very, very often because I need some type of change in order to feel new. Cleaning, even cleaning, cleansing, like using some incense to cleanse the space, cleanse the energy in the environment that you're in. And like really, when you decide to change your identity, I think first thing you should do, honestly, is clean. If your environment is messy, clean it up, redecorate, move some things around. If this resonates, this is just one other tip for me to create massive change. I need to have a different, environment. Doesn't have to be big. I can move decorations around or just clean, in general, have a clean space, clear mind, clean space, clear mind, and begin to act as if. So what would I be doing if I am this? What do I do if I'm a YouTuber? Will I create videos? What do I do if I have, 100,000 subscribers? Because that's what I have. Well, I show up in my best energy. Pretend as if, act as if. I can make a whole episode on acting as if and stuff, but 100,000 people are watching you if that's what you want. Or act as if you already have that body, or you already have that person, or you already have that job. What are you doing? How are you living? And live just in accordance with that. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Of course, there will be many episodes, and referral episodes can be, the law of attraction and manifesting intentionally. Your beliefs are sabotaging you, which is episode 9, and then episode 3. Those ones really also kind of talk about this. And if you're really serious about creating massive change, like I said, journal on your pain and pleasures, change those I am statements, write down your I am statements. I am statements are very powerful, and if you don't resonate with, affirmations, try doing, why am I so charismatic? Why am I so this? Propose the question, and your subconscious mind will find it. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you next week. Please comment below whether you want whisper or soft spoken. I thought about doing, I'm just going to say real quick, I thought about, should I do my regular voice and just have this podcast be a podcast? But I know it's safe space ASMR podcast. Actually, no, we'll keep it. Just let me know what you like, okay? I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening. Follow, subscribe wherever you're listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.